All right, so thank you very much. At first I have to apologize a little bit because I changed the title of the presentation. I heard it's the longest title for the whole conference, and they even didn't made it to bring it in the PDF document, so they have to shorten it because it was too big. And they told me that long titles, scientific titles, are unsexy, so I chose to change the title, and and I decided to change the content too, so therefore it's okay. So it's all about content, what I like to talk now, and so the title is What About Content, and should Google and Facebook pay us for working for them? I hope it's a little bit shorter and a little bit more sexy than the older title. What I'd like to talk first is about content on the internet, and a saying which is from the middle of the 19th, content is king, and I'd like to add something which means but attention is emperor. Okay, so let's start with the first point, content is king. In 1996 there was an article written by Bill Gates, it's quite a long time, and he said content is king. It was some kind of article. It was widely spread, and people thought it. What was mainly the basis is that he said content is the main thing on the internet. Yeah, good content, quality content, so that people are getting interested. So content is the most important thing on the internet. And he even said something in addition, which is quite important for me. He just that content is king, but he said content is where I expect much of the real money will be made on the internet. So that's my starting point. So quality content, good content is very, very important, and it's going to be the main basis for earning money on the internet, good content. Okay, when I became first skeptical about this tethers, about this, the saying was 5 years ago when I worked as a web editor for our company, and I was in charge for running our homepage, and I was working for a couple of years on creating quality content and good content. That was always my focus for the work, how to better the content of our materials, of our online web pages. And then we had some kind of search engine optimization thing, I think you know all about. And the CEO specialist came to us and he said, if I were you, I would spend more money on the search engine optimization than on the content, because you can reach quite more people with a search engine optimization than with just making your content better. And I said, okay, let's please show us. And the website which we run was it's a media pedagogical website, and we had around 9,000 visitors a week, yeah, who came there, just were interested in our content. And so what we did, we just run a search engine optimization by the end of this year here. And what you see is that in the first place, we lost some visitors. That is normal, yeah, for a search engine optimization. And first, you're just losing some visitors. And in the very end, we had more than 3 times more visitors and more people seeing our content on the website. So that was the first time when I became skeptical about content is king. What I'd like to show you in the next minutes is how new gatekeepers like Google and Facebook are going to change the importance of content more and more. But Google and Facebook, first I have to apologize for a second time, because it's always the examples are with Google and Facebook. I could have chosen Apple or Samsung as well. It's not a matter, but Google and Facebook are really the best ones in using content. They're really the first players. Okay, what are Google and Facebook doing with content at present? Everybody knows, okay, you can using the Google search engine, and just type in some kind of keywords you're searching for. That's common, everybody does it day by day. And I would like to show you something which you, I think, already have recognized, perhaps not, but I'm going to show it to you. If you're, for example, entering Frédéric Chopin in this search engine of Google, you're not just getting the results on the left-hand side, yeah, where you have these web pages, but during the last years, more and more, you're just getting a small box on the right-hand side. Yeah? You see it here. And this box is generated by content. In this case, it's content from Wikipedia. Yeah? So what Google is doing, they are just extracting content from the Wikipedia page and showing them directly on the first hit page if you're just entering some keywords, which is, I think a lot of you are just have recognized this phenomenon. But it's not just about Wikipedia, it's about quite a lot of other things too. The next example, I just searched for Adele Hello lyrics. Yeah? And if you're just entering, you don't get some kind of hits, which web pages with the lyrics, but you're getting the lyrics of Adele immediately. Yeah? You're just getting them explicit on the first page, also extracted by the Google service. So that's just some kind of phenomenon. Let's go to Facebook. What does Facebook do with content? There's a very famous journalist and professor for media culture, media ethics, Jeff Jarvis, and he was in Germany a few months ago in Stuttgart, and he told people from newspapers, so newspapers should be on Facebook. So it's very simple. He said, newspapers should be on Facebook because newspapers should be where their readers are, and their readers are on Facebook. So that's simple. And I'd like to precise it a little bit more. Newspapers should be on Facebook. They must be on Facebook. That's very simple. I have an example here. So the New York Times with more than 11 million people who like the New York Times fan page on Facebook. So what do we have here with regard to content? We have some kind of exchange. And the exchange is very simple. If you want to have attention, yeah, you have to use Facebook. And if you want to have this attention, you have to give us your content. Very simple. And there's quite a lot of pressure for the newspapers to offer their content and to spread their news for free on Facebook to get the audience. And Facebook is getting this content for free. And the interesting thing about newspapers is that generating income with advertising is one of the key principles for newspapers for financing. But they are more and more have to offer their content to Facebook to just get the audience by their side. So what is changing? What is changing with regard to content? I made this, do you know this "Don't be evil" slogan? Yeah? Don't be evil, it's a Google slogan. The company slogan is "Don't be evil," and I really liked it because a company which is such powerful, I like this slogan, but I added something else: don't be evil, just take the money, and I'm going to show it right now. So what is quite simple, and I think it's not brand new for you, is that great gatekeepers, new gatekeepers like Google, Facebook, Apple, Samsung, however, they are trying to get between the content on the internet and the users. Yeah? And they are not a content company, but they make all of their profit with the content on the internet. And so they are in a way just acting like some kind of filter. Of course they are gaining access to those content on the internet. And what's interesting about this is during the last years, the walls between the users, the internet users and the content are getting higher and higher and higher, and Google and Facebook are just trying more and more to get between the content and the users on the internet. And it's very simple, yeah? It's all about money, of course. Because the person who has the control over the attention or over the access to internet content is the first one who's able to make money with it, and that's what Google and Facebook want to do, of course. So that's very simple, but I'd like to ask some questions which have to do with the content, because great power, and that's what I like to say, okay, this is a simplification. I think great money is great power. If you don't like it, we can discuss it, but this is one of my assumptions for the presentation. Yeah? So great money comes with great power, and great power has to come with great responsibility. So, but where's the responsibility? 10 days ago, we had somewhat an interesting incident. We have an article on CBS News here. Does Facebook need to act more like a news organization? What happened? It happened something interesting. I think most of you know this picture. Do you? Who knows it? Who's seen this picture here of this Vietnamese girl? Yes? Yeah, okay. Most of you. What happened was very simple. A Norwegian newspaper, which was on Facebook, published it on Facebook, and it was deleted, yeah, in order of the violation of the Facebook terms of use, because it was a naked girl, and this is not allowed on Facebook. And so it was deleted, and the Norwegian newspaper, the journalists were quite angry about it, because they said, this is not a responsible behavior. Yeah? This is not okay. And there was a broad debate on Facebook and on their newspaper about deleting this image, and that Facebook is not responsible, and they are dealing with content and make decisions about content, and there's a decision about giving access to content, but they're not acting responsible for it. And in the very end, you can see it here, Facebook reinstates the historic napalm girl. So in the very end, after the discussion, the photo was published again on this channel, and it was okay for Facebook. But you see the problem. Yeah? Companies like Google and Facebook got more and more power about the publishing of content, and I'd like to show you some more examples of their power of the new gatekeepers, because you're not just getting information on Facebook anymore, but the information is changing. You're getting some kind of emotions, you're getting meanings, you're getting opinions, and I'd like to say you can search for best restaurants in Berlin, for example, and that's not a problem at all. You get information pages which show information about best restaurants in Berlin. But what's new and what's really upcoming on Google and other services is that you're getting some kind of opinions as well. So you have here opinion platforms which ratings of restaurants here, and those ratings are, of course, made by us, made by the users using Google services or using other services like Booking.com or whatever. And it's more and more that people are not only searching for information on Google, but people are searching for opinions, they're searching for references for everything, which gives more and more power to the company. And interesting is another thing I just tapped in here, National Museum of Warsaw. And of course, you're getting this box on the right-hand side I already talked about. What I'd like to show you is that you get some interesting information on the right-hand side. Of course, it's the, on the top, you have the Wikipedia, the information which was extracted from Wikipedia. That's not new for you now. But what we have here at the box, we have some additional information, and this is really going to become interesting at present and for the next years. Here you have information about the popular times. So when people usually visit this museum, how many hours do they normally spend in this museum? Okay, how Google get this information? Of course, they get this information from Android users, yeah? People who are just carrying their Android cell phones within the museum. They were just tracked, they were analyzed. So when do they come into the museum? How long do they stay? It's all about personal data, which is just analyzed by Google. And that's a very interesting and fundamental change, because it's us who are producing data, and data is changed into content. That's really a new thing. I hope you can understand it, because Google and Facebook were never meant as content companies. They didn't. But they are producing content at present, and we are the ones who are producing content for them, more and more and more each day. And that's interesting, because Google and Facebook as well have twice a billion users. So let's say Google has more than 2 billion employees who are working for the company, which is quite a lot, and Facebook too. So we all should ask whether they are going to pay us because we are working for them. This would be the question. Okay, so what about Facebook? Facebook has a very similar interest. A very new upcoming topic for Facebook's are chatbots. What's a chatbot? So one of the main things on Facebook is chats and personal conversation. And what is more and more developed are chatbots, which are able to automatically not just analyze. It's not the problem, but they are able. The aim is to interact with people, so that, let's say, chatbots are going to interact with you like a human. I'm going to show you an example. For a couple of months, Facebook offers to company the opportunity to develop such chatbots. So this chatbot here is from Hyatt Hotels, developed. Facebook is offering the artificial intelligence. So Facebook is offering the technical background, and you have to develop an app. And it's very simple. You're just entering, can I book a room tonight, in the Facebook Messenger. And you're getting an offer by your chatbot. And the offer is not yes or no, but the offer is very concrete. Hi, James, we have a room available tonight, and you get a concrete offer. And the plan is, and the interest of Facebook is, that during the next years, entering keywords into a search engine would be of no interest anymore, because you can everything which is interesting for you, you can enter it into your chatbot. Yeah, of course, by voice. Yeah, that's the next thing, and you're just going to interact like, when does Stefan Stengel is going to speak on the Warsaw conference? And the answer is tomorrow morning, 11:30. So that's the next thing. All this is based on the content you are producing for Facebook. All your public publishes on Facebook, all the information which is shared together on Facebook. And so this is going, for the next years, I think this is really going to change the power of those companies. So I come to the conclusion. My conclusion is, yes, content is king, but attention is queen, and she wears the pants. So that's it. And the main things just to remember. Attention is like the new currency on the internet, and it is for years. Yeah, so that's nothing brand new. But during the data is increasing and increasing and increasing, the available data on the internet, and so attention is becoming more and more and more important. So new gatekeepers like Google and Facebook and all the others are trying to get the attention and the access to the content just within their own platforms. That's their central aims, and they are becoming much more powerful and much more successful in earning money by granting access on the internet. And the fundamental change is the last bullet points here. Content doesn't mean at present and during the next years, it doesn't only mean information. Content means that you're searching for opinions, you're searching for judgment, you're searching for feelings. Yeah? In a future chatbot, in 3 years, you can say, hey, how's the weather? And your chatbot will answer, the weather is good, but it's raining. So what happened? Your chatbot knows, because of your behavior, that you really wanted to have rain on that day. Why ever? Yeah? So your chatbot is just answering with the right feeling. And all this is about artificial intelligence, which is more and more developed. And it's data created by us as users, which is becoming more and more important. And so we are the content producers for the great and big companies. And this is about the next step is that Google is not going to extract content on Wikipedia or wherever, but Google, Facebook, and the others are going to create their own content out of our content just by artificial intelligence. And this is the central thing about it. Just to come to an end, if you're entering your name once in a Google search engine and just there are no documents mentioned on Google, perhaps you're not existing at all. But to come back to the beginning, the person who made our search engine optimization said it's not about just being shown on Google. He said if you're as a company not on the first pages of the Google hit list, if you're entering keywords, you're really not existing at all for the public. So that's something to think about. Thank you very much for your attention.